Hi guys. So I saw a post this morning and I was going to show it to you, but I can't find it again, of course. Um, but I'm still really feeling like we should talk about it. So here we go. All right. So, ceramic film. I saw a post where a customer said, I took my car, I had my car tinted. I had them remove the old film, put ceramic on. I specifically asked for ceramic, and my car's still getting hot. Do you think that I got ceramic? So, this video is going to be sort of in two parts because, on one hand, I do want to talk to any consumers that might be watching. On the other hand, shop owners, installers, anyone dealing with customers, we have to have a conversation. So, first and foremost, we have our customers. And anybody that knows me in real life knows that I will ramble if I do not have notes in front of me. So, I made some talking points. So, customers, the very first thing I want you to understand is that putting ceramic on your car does not mean that your car will never get hot again. Really. Your car will still get hot even with ceramic film on it. And I want you to really honestly look at your vehicle and see how much of it's glass. And of that amount of glass, how much of it got tinted. Because not everybody tints all the glass. So um, if you look at the percentage of your vehicle that's actually tinted glass, it's not hard to see why the film wouldn't stop your car from getting hot if it's sitting in a hot parking lot under the sun. So there's that. What putting ceramic film on your car does mean, and I'm going to explain it to you exactly how I explain it to my own customers. What it does mean is that when you get in your car after it's been sitting in that hot parking lot all day and you're on your way home, what it does mean is you're going to turn your AC on and you'll notice a difference in one, how fast your AC is able to cool your car down. And then two, the other difference you will notice is, especially if you have climate control, that you can set like at, 70 degrees. Your AC isn't going to have to run as much or run as hard to keep you right where you want it to be. So that's what it does mean. In my own experience that you will find relevant to you, I owned previously a 2008 GMC Acadia. I had climate control. I had heated mirrors. It was so good. But back to the point. This vehicle, when I bought it, of course, didn't have tin on it. I got it used from a dealership. And I drive 45 minutes to and from work every day. And so I would be driving home in the summertime. I'd get stuck in rush hour traffic without fail in this one spot on my route every single day. And as I was sitting there, I would be fidgeting, trying to get out of the sun because it felt like my skin was melting. No matter how high up my AC was, no matter where the cold air was pointed, I was sweating profusely and it was disgusting and I hated it. And so finally one day I got around to getting one of our installers to put some ceramic film on my front doors. And me, I always go with very light film. I don't need my film to be dark or noticeable. Max I go is 50%, just personal preference. So with 50, I put that on. And this shade is light, like very light. When you're talking just having it on front doors, it's almost not noticeable at all. So I would be driving home then, get stuck at that same spot, and all of a sudden, my AC seemed to be working. I could feel it. I wasn't sweating. My skin still felt it a little tiny bit, but I didn't feel like I was burning up. And that's what your ceramic film should do for you. And if you've gone to a shop and you've had your car tinted and it's supposed to be ceramic and you have any doubt, I know that in this post in particular, a lot of the responses were, well, put a meter on it. First of all, what customer is going to have a meter reasonably? Like, why is this an answer? Second of all, a lot of tint shops don't have IR meters. So where that would be phenomenal and we would have hard data to take to that shop and say, I know you didn't give me what I was supposed to get. It's not realistic. So a quick and easy way that you can kind of judge or at least get an idea is while you're sitting in the sun and the sun's beating on you, roll down your window a bit. And what you'll see is if you got ceramic, what should happen is the skin that's being hit from the sun without film, that should get warm pretty quick. And you will almost feel a sensation like you're starting to get a sunburn, like that kind of tingling, burning feeling. And then under that, where the film is, you shouldn't feel it that intensely. You might still feel it a little bit. You know, it's not some magic bullet, but it should be dramatically less. Now, if you roll your window down and it feels similar or only slightly less between film and no film, then we've got a problem. Then we've got something we need to approach them with. But for the most part, most shops are pretty honest about what they're doing and what they're giving you. In a lot of cases, if a customer is questioning if they got what they paid for or not, it's simply because the expectation wasn't properly set. It wasn't explained to them what they would actually be getting. It was just, oh, hey, this will block X amount of heat. But we didn't do our job and finish explaining that and tell you what that was going to look like in real life. So this brings me to my shop owners, installers, customer service representatives extraordinaire. We need to manage customer expectations. That is our job. That is what we are paid for. This is what they come to us for as professionals. So don't just tell your customer, oh yeah, this blocks, 67% of IR and move on. They don't know what that means. They don't know what that looks like in real life. And we can't expect them to. They're not the professionals. We are. What our job is to take this information and simplify it and be as concise as we can so that they can understand. Because we are the professional. We do understand what these numbers mean. And we do need to be able to explain that to them. So what I tell our own customers when they come in for ceramic is very much what I just said in the customer portion of this video. Take it, make it your own, rehearse your speech, use it. So this brings me to another story that's relevant, and I felt like this one would be more relevant to installers and shop owners than it would be to customers, just because this is my perspective of it, is as someone dealing with a customer, somebody working in a shop dealing with a customer. So I was sitting behind the counter one day and I had a customer come in. And he wasn't our customer, he was someone else's customer, but for ease, I'm going to refer to him as the customer. And this gentleman walks in and he says, my wife and I, we went to a tint shop. We paid all this money to get ceramic film. And my car still gets hot. I don't think that they gave me ceramic. And this dude was intense. He was mad. And with what he paid, if he hadn't gotten what he was asking for, I could understand absolutely him being mad because he paid a lot of money. So I went in the back. This was when our distribution and our tint shop were still in one building. So I go into the back. I grab the IR meter. Before I went out to his car, I asked the gentleman if he knew what type of film was put on or if he knew, if he had warranty card information. So this gentleman, he passes me this warranty paperwork. And so I look up the film specs for that film, for that shade. And I say, okay, it should read at about X number. I don't even remember now what it was. And so we go out there and I throw the meter on. And actually, it was performing better than what the spec said it was going to, because as you know, when manufacturing these, sometimes there's going to be variance in things. You might get a roll that's a little bit lighter than your previous roll. So it's the same thing with performance. Sometimes they're going to perform a little bit better than the spec says. Very, very rarely you might see one that's a little bit under, but I do think that the specs they publish, they do try to stay on the lower end so that if anything, they're performing better than that. So I go out there with this customer. I tell him, no, this is what it should have been reading at. This is what it's reading at, which is actually better. It looks like you got what you paid for. And this man, like I said, when he came in, he was heated. He was angry. And when I told him that, he just stared at me. And I'll never forget this because this dude was super intimidating. But he looked at me and he said, how do I know that you're not lying to cover up for another shop? And I had never had anyone like question my integrity in that sort of situation. So I was a little taken aback for a second, like wheels were spinning, but no contact was being made with the ground because I just could not fathom this situation that was unfolding in front of me. And I just simply explained to him, sir, if I wanted to take advantage of you and if I wanted to lie to you, I could have told you, no, absolutely not, sir. This is not what you paid for. This film should be performing way better than it is. You are absolutely correct. You know what? Let me strip both cars at X amount of dollars a pop. Let me retint them in ceramic, real ceramic, our ceramic, at X amount of dollars a pop. And I would have charged you like really well over $1,000 for this work. Would have been a nice ticket, and the film wasn't that old. It was maybe on for a week. Would have come off real nice. The removal would have been nothing. So if I was going to lie and I was going to be deceitful, I'm pretty sure I would have lied and been deceitful in a way that was actually going to benefit me. So it was just kind of a funny thing, and, it made me think, if I had a customer that I didn't properly explain the expectations to, would they have gone to another shop and asked this question? Could they possibly not only have been taken advantage of because they didn't know, but then also they've got a bad taste in their mouth from their interaction with me? Then I'm not getting that referral business. They're not telling their friends what a great job I did, how much time I took with them, how well they understand what they got, things like that. I want every interaction with a customer, as much as we can possibly control, to be positive. I want to give them this information. I want them to really understand what I'm telling them. And I want them to walk away satisfied more than anything. Because word of mouth in our business is huge. Huge. That's how we make our money. That's how we feed our kids and pay our bills. So, just some food for thought. If you aren't doing this, this is something you need to be doing. And customers, like I said, there's a way for you to get an idea checking it. But for the most part, these shops and these shop owners, they're not out to screw you. They're really not. I promise you. But that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And check out the new office. I can finally record videos and not have a ton of background noise. And it's awesome. So yeah. Pretty excited. Hopefully you guys will be seeing a little more from me as I'm sitting here in the office, like scrolling through Facebook and just having thoughts. All right. Love you. Mwah.